All right, so we got to have a conversation. This conversation is going to be about interracial dating, and I'm so sick of people judging everybody because they want to interracially date. Some of y'all have really got to learn how to mind your business. Some of you have really got to learn how to get your own romantic life in check. Some of you out there, you engage in a different version of pocket watching. See, pocket watching is when you watch someone constantly and you critique their life. You try to get them to, you try to control everything about them. That's pocket watching. Some of you do that. Some of you engage in that, right? And the idea behind pocket watching, and the reason why we discourage it, is because when people pocket watch, that means you ain't minding your own business. You are paying attention to somebody else's business, and you're trying to basically financially control somebody else's life. Now, the issue that I have with people out here who judge people who interracially date is because it's the exact same as pocket watching. There's no essential difference. How is it different? How are you judging someone else's romantic choice any different than pocket watching? How? And I find it interesting how these standards of interracial dating and don't interracial date, that only applies to black men. It don't apply to black women. We all know that. You want to know why? Because the average time that you hear it brought up, right, you never really hear it brought up, against a black woman. It's usually against a black man, and it's usually made to go at black men. It's not made to go at black women. You want to know how I can prove that beyond a shadow of a freaking doubt? Do you want to know how I know that's the case? Do you want to know how I know the whole criticism of interracial dating is meant to go at black men? Do you want to know how I know that? It's because when you get a black woman who's unalived by police officers, you never hear it come up if she's ever dated a white man before. You never hear that, right? But in the case of Tyree Nichols was unalived by 5 Memphis police officers. And what was one of the first things that people brought up? He dated white women. As if that has any relevance. Same happened with Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah. Guess what? The exact same is happening right now to Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors looks innocent. The more time goes on, the more Jonathan Majors looks innocent. And when Jonathan Majors was falsely accused, what did the black community do? Well, he dates a white woman. As if that's somehow relevant. It's the exact same thing that people do when a police officer fatally shoots an innocent, unarmed black man. What do? They said, well, he was jaywalking. He had a criminal record. They are looking for any reason to justify what happens to a black man. Any reason. Otherwise, why the hell do you bring up he dated a white woman with Tyree Nichols or Ahmaud Arbery or Jonathan Majors or anybody else who's ever been harmed? When you are a black man and you end up in a relationship with a white woman, right? Say you end up in family court, right? Say you end up in family court. The first time that happens, right? People are gonna say, well, you deserved it because you dated a white woman. As if there aren't black women out there who won't clean you out when you go up to freaking family court. It is ridiculous, the standards placed on black men. It's not meant for black women. It's not meant for black women. And I can prove it. This idea that black men can only date black women, can only have children by black women, that is a leftover from slavery. You want to know why? Because black women were allowed to sleep with the slave masters, the overseers, anyone else, because no one cared. You want to know why? Because the end result is still going to be a black child. Light skin or dark skin, still going to be a black child, another slave. But you can't just make that kind of trade-off with a black man, can you? Because he can be with a white woman, and you don't want that. So some of the strong feelings, some of the crazy psychotic feelings you are seeing towards people who interracially date, that's where it comes from. That's why the feelings are so strong. That's why it seems so hypocritical. That's why the same people who will tell you to date within your race have no problem with somebody being gay. Right? Same people have no problem with Kamala Harris, no problem with Serena Williams, no problem with anyone else who chooses their own life their own life choice. They will tell you can't be pro-black if you don't date black. Interesting. So you could be pro-woman, right? Pro-woman and be gay. They have no issue with that. No issue with that. So when I look at people like, let's say certain people who ran for Congress in South Carolina, right? certain black politicians who are gay. You mean tell me this same so-called pro-black politician can actually speak on black women? He only dates black men. So how can he speak on black women when he's gay? I've married a black woman. My first marriage was to a black woman, so I have more of a say to black women than he does, right? But that's not the case, because it's okay that it's totally okay that he's gay, and you know who I'm talking about if you're FBA, Marcel Dixon. It's okay, but it's not okay that I have an interracial relationship, because that's the first thing that he brought up when I first met him. But you're gay. How can you judge another man for their choice when you got that choice? I have no problem with gay people, no problem with the LGBT community. But my issue is, if you're going to be that, don't judge me, because the whole argument for you getting married, for you having an actual relationship without being legally punished for it, is mind your business. Love is love. It's got nothing to freaking do with you. So you could be pro-Palestine, anti-Israel, pro-Israel, anti-Palestine. You could be pro-black, you could be pro-white, you could be pro-anything else. Just watch what you date, basically. It is the only standard that is set on black men that no one else has to follow. Everyone else can be pro-Asian and be Asian and date whoever they want to be. No one puts that standard on them. People can be pro-white. Listen, there are white supremacists out there who are white, who date Japanese people. And there's no way in the world you're gonna tell me because he dates one Japanese person, he can't be pro-white. So a white supremacist can date whoever they want to, start a family with whoever they want to. They don't have the pressure of having to pick and choose through a smaller freaking selection. They ain't got the pressure of being judged for every choice you make. No one pocket watching them. No one watching their dating choices, where they live. If a black man decides to say, hey, I made some money, I want to move out of the hood, you get judged for that. Look at Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders went to a better opportunity, and people are judging him for that. What you're seeing in terms of the judgment, right, towards black men for dating who they want, it's the same stuff. A black man can never do right enough. Listen, they criticize Deion Sanders for simply getting a better job. They criticize Jonathan Majors for merely dating a white woman when he's innocent. They criticize Tyree Nichols for dating a white woman when he's innocent. They had the man's funeral. I was there. I saw the Twitter threads. I was there. I know what the hell I saw. See, this crap only applies to black men. It don't apply to black women, because everybody out there with an audience, right? Everybody out there with an audience knows if you criticize anything that has anything to do with women, you understand you're going to lose your audience. But I ain't like that, because I don't care. Listen, I'm a combat veteran, ready at 100%. You can't fire me. I'm at 100% VA compensation. You can't fire me. So I don't care. I don't need social media. I'm gonna be truthful. And the truthful truth is, standards placed on black men in terms of who we can date, how much money that we can make, where we can live, what kind of clothes we can wear, what kind of job you can have. Listen, they will criticize you. They will criticize you if you're a black man, if you go to the wrong college. The fact that we have an educational gap, right? The fact that we have an educational gap, you should be glad that Deion Sanders went to a freaking predominantly white school. You want to know why? Because some of those black children that he actually brought along with him, they're going to stay. That's going to build up the actual black population. See, you don't think of it like that. All you see is a black man is making a choice, and I don't like it. I got to destroy him. You have folks in the black community doing the same crap. So when someone out there says, "Oh, well, we're not criticizing you because you're dating outside your race," no. Yes, you are, because I've seen people get freaking criticized and jumped on for far less, and it comes from the same place of not minding your damn business. Comes from the same place. You want to know how I know this? You want to know how I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt? Right. You want to know how I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt? Behind a shadow of a doubt? Because if there was so much of a problem with interracial dating and the outcomes of it, why do you praise Malcolm X, Huey Newton? Why do so many of you listen to freaking Drake? So it's interesting. You want to claim the benefits of the outcomes of interracial dating. You just don't want the actual relationship. Who are you to dictate to anyone who they should be with and tell them what they can be? You can't be pro this, pro that. Go, I tell you what, if you feel that way, tell you what, on Pride Month, I want you to have a regular job on Pride Month. I want you to go find a black man dating a white man, right? Right? I want you to go find a black man dating a white man and says, you can't be pro-black. Do that on Pride Month. See how long you keep that job. Don't just come online, spitting your little venom, and then being a coward in real life. No. No. Repeat it in real life. Repeat it in real life. You know you won't. Because the second that you tell me your name, oh, we're going to find out just how much, just how brave you are. See, I want you to understand something. The reason why I'm getting so upset, it's not so much that I'm in a relationship. It's because, legally speaking, it's illegal. It's federally illegal. You can't sit here and chastise people because of their dating choices. Can't do that. That's not your choice. If you did it in person and I tell you to leave or leave me alone and you kept doing it, well, by the federal law, I can defend myself by any means. Because it's no different if a white man was walking up to me and going at my wife because she's not black, but with me. And if we told that white man to leave because we are in fear of our lives, it'd be no different. Not legally. Not legally. So my thing is that when someone tells you, I'm going to date who I want, I'm going to be with who I want, and you ain't going to sit here and tell me otherwise, then that's what it is. Let me see. This person here who's a user, let me invite them on. They said, no, you can't. Okay, cool. And user DJ John 001, if you say anything else in the chat without hopping into the box, I'm going to bang you from the chat. Yeah. See, that's another thing that these cowards do, right? They don't ever invite people like me onto your show without muting me, without talking over me, without trying to gang up on me. It's never going to be a one-on-one. Because people understand they're going after the lowest hanging fruit. Have you ever seen any other group of people, besides black men, be criticized for interracial dating so much? Can you even think of one? You know, you can't say Native Americans because so many of them are half white and half Native. Can't say Asians. Can't say Asians. I mean, so many of them are in so many different relationships that I can't even name it all. You can't say Hispanic people because white Hispanics exist. So you can't say that. Black Hispanics exist. You can't say that. Who on planet Earth gets criticized more for interracial dating? Who? Besides black men. Name me one group. It ain't black women. You wanna know why? Because you don't see live streams with Serena Williams' face plastered all over it, or Kamala Harris. You don't see that. And if you do, show me a link right now. Post it. Post it. I want to see it right now. Because the reason why I made this live stream is because I saw the exact opposite. Okay. All over the place. And I'm starting to notice more and more people are starting to reject this stuff because they can see the hypocrisy. But what people don't seem to understand is that you don't own me. I can be pro-black and date whoever the hell I want. It could be a man or a woman. It's not your damn choice, man. Get over yourself. This here my body. It's my mouth. My life. Not yours. Right? Not yours. So some of you out there are going to really have to get over yourselves and do some soul searching. This need to control people's lives is disgusting. And to be honest with you, you can't be pro-black and telling people who the hell to date. You want to know why? Because the bottom line is the one thing black folks love to do is mind their damn business, which some of you can't do. Because ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me that if a black woman was pregnant by a white man, you're gonna walk up to that black woman and says, you shouldn't have that baby, or you probably shouldn't have gotten pregnant by that white man. You wouldn't say anything because you understand that criticism is not meant for her. It's meant for people like me. That's what it's meant for. I'm so sick of people out there judging every black man who's in an interracial relationship, right? But then at the same time, every Pride Month, you tell me love is love. Make up your damn mind. If you won't say it on your job, don't say it to me. Talk to me the exact same way you talk to your white boss. Because let's be honest, a lot of you on TikTok, social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you don't do that. So I know for a fact the standards you set for black men, you don't set for white men. You don't see a white man be hurt and says, well, he dated black women, so that's okay. No, it don't work that way, son. You don't see Hispanic people seeing a Hispanic person get hurt and says, well, he's a white Hispanic. No, they stick together. So let me get this straight. I can be a gay man and a freaking feminist. I can be a gay man and advocate for women. But I can't be a black man, date outside my race, and then be pro-black. Make it make sense. If you wouldn't say that shit on your damn job, don't say it to me. It's the dumbest standard ever, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. You can't make it make sense because it doesn't. The only people this is intended for is black men. This criticism of interracial dating is only meant for black men. You want to know why? Because even when a black man has his life taken by police, like Tyree Nichols, right? Even when a black man lost his life to police officers like Tyree Nichols, when it was found out that Tyree Nichols dated white women, was the first thing that these parasites brought up. He dated a white woman. Disgusting. Don't you tell me it's about anything other than critiquing black men. Don't you tell me that. Stop it. It's disgusting. And this crap needs to stop. Some of you out there, some of you out here are trying to project your toxic behavior onto black men. No. You'll see a lot of people, and the reason why you see this often is because you will get sometimes women who will complain. And this happens in every racial group. This happens in every racial group. You get Asian women who can't find a husband, so then they'll start blaming all Asian men, right? Or you get a black woman who can't find a husband. Well, if he wasn't dating white women, I would find a freaking husband. When men of every race was checking for you in the first place. If I've been married to a black woman, married to a Hispanic woman, I've dated Asian women, Hispanic women, black women, white women, you name it. If I did all that, right, that lets you know that I have a way of attracting people. I work on myself. So when you go on social media complaining, well, he's dating this and he's dating that, you can't be pro-black. That's why you're single. It ain't got nothing to do with black men dating anybody or white women dating freaking anybody. It's you. It's you. It's you. Stop projecting. You get a bunch of people come on social media. Listen, the way that you know this is a standard set by a bunch of angry women is because it definitely works out and it definitely applies in other scenarios, right? It definitely applies in other scenarios, right? Because if you look at it, you look at the overall pattern. Overall, the only time that people bring this up when someone loses their life is when a black man. Think about how many missing black women that people bring up all the time. And That's a very, very real problem. I bring it up all the time. Does anyone mention that those black women ever dated a white man before? Do you ever hear that? Do you ever hear that? Interesting. So when Kamala Harris, when she orders a bunch of freaking drone strikes, when she has a bunch of evidence to release somebody from freaking jail, go ask anyone who lives in the freaking Bay Area about Kamala Harris. Most of them don't like her, and that's for a good reason. Okay, so when that happens, notice how no one brings up her white husband. Notice that. No one brings that up. So my thing is that if you're going to judge people for their dating choices, how about this? You hold the same standard for everyone or shut up. People say, oh, they brought it up. Not like a black man. Not like a black man. Holy smokes, not like a black man. Kamala Harris is still living. Tyree Nichols is not. No. Not like a black man. They listen, let me tell you something. The only reason why, listen, you get criticized more for dating a white woman as a black man, right? You will get criticized more for dating a white woman as a black man than a black man dating a white man. So that's what lets you know, right? That's what lets you know where this actually is coming from. This whole thing has transcended homophobia. That's how you know it's not about, oh, we got to keep it pure. No. It's about control over who you perceive to be the easiest to control. Whoever has the most social power, and it ain't black men. Right? It ain't black men. Keep it a buck. How is it that you are in a freaking reality where you got people judging black men for dating outside their race, but at the same time, they will be quiet on their job during Pride Month? Answer that question. Before you offer me any kind of freaking critique, answer that question. Make it make sense to me, because it makes no sense to me. It's disgusting, and everyone knows it. The fact that people will not admit to it, I'm only going to entrench further. Concede the damn point. It's true. I don't do well with freaking deflections. It's the truth. Some of you have a need to control other people's lives. You live vicariously through other people's life. And Dr. Kimberly Dr. Kimberly Washington, you either hop into the chat or don't speak anymore in my chat. I want you to notice how I just said my first wife was freaking black. And they will ignore that. Totally know that. See, and Big Jeff, he has a very, very good point. He says, sisters hate to see black men with white women, but it is glories when a sister is with a white man. Exactly. That's the point I'm making. I want to be treated the exact same way as Kamala Harris. The exact same way as Serena Williams. Is that unreasonable? Is that unreasonable? It's not. And everyone knows it is. And the fact that you got parasites out here still pushing this nonsense, it lets you know they only want control over who they perceive to be the easiest to control. They don't go after gay people like this, or even trans people. See, a part of white supremacy is making sure you can't do exactly what a white man does. A white man can go over to the African continent and have a bunch of children. We all know this. We all know this. Happened with France, happened with the Dutch, happened with everybody. And that's totally okay. It happens even now. You don't see live stream after live stream after live stream about that. But the second Tyree Nichols has a white woman and he gets unalived by police officers, something you got a freaking problem with it. The second that Jonathan Majors gets falsely accused, video evidence shows this man's innocent. This man's freaking innocent. He dated a white woman though. Dated a white woman though. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. Some of you have got to get a life. Stop living life through social media. Stop living life through someone else's life. It is not your damn choice to pick who someone dates. I don't care if you are anti-gay. I don't care if you're anti-whatever. Mind your business. It is about control. If someone tells you I'm going to date who I want to, but I can still be pro-black, how in the world can you fix your mouth to say that when you know there are male feminists who are gay? You know good and well you ain't going to fix your mouth and say you're not pro-woman. You're going to shut your mouth and keep your job like every other black person who's being a hypocrite right now. You're going to shut your mouth and keep your job, right? But all of a sudden you come around black folks, then you treat them in a way that you would never treat another person. You pocket watch them. You tell them you can't live in this freaking neighborhood. You ain't pro-black because you don't live in the hood no more. Do you know how many times I've heard that stupid crap? I sit here, excuse me. Let me show you something real quick. Some of you out here don't realize that the levers in which I go through to do some of my activism. I want you guys to see something real quick. So I'm actually in the middle of moving, right? I'm in the middle of moving. And I want to show you. Now, this food pantry was supposed to be for me and my family. All this food here is for homeless people. That's why it looks like it's all like snack food, things I can just easily go and hand out, bread foods, that kind of stuff. I use this food to feed the homeless people, right? And disproportionately, the homeless happen to be freaking black people that look just like me. But I can't be pro-black. I can't be pro-black because of who I dated. Some of you are parasites. Some of you are better off outside of the freaking black community. Some of you are. Some of you are. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. How in the world can you go to somebody who's doing the damn work? You got people out there like Jada and Will Smith embarrassing the black community, but you'll sit there and hold up Jada. Slay, queen, slay. Ooh, go, queen, go. Ooh, go, Jada. Boss girl, slay. Every time a black man is freaking humiliated, you praise that, which further lets me know this is about controlling black men. Because you have no problem humiliating black men and praising them. No problem with it. No problem with it. No issue with it. Think about how many black celebrity relationships that we've seen, whereas the black man gets freaking emasculated, and you have a bunch of black feminists, right? Many of them who are in interracial relationships, right? Many of whom are in interracial relationships as we speak, but will judge that black man if he doesn't acquiesce to everything that black woman says. And then we'll get mad at you if you date outside your race, even though they're actively doing it. Most people on social media making content are hypocrites. They don't live anything they preach. The reason why when you Google my name, I'm so damn respected is because I'm one of the few people who actually practices what the hell I preach. Right? So my thing is that if you're gonna feel that way, if you're gonna come at black men, if you're gonna have this standard of you can only date this kind of person, tell you what, cool. When I see a black, when I will only listen, I will only hear that when you get on my live stream. I actually speed dial my friend Janelle, who's pregnant by a white man, and I want you to tell her that she's wrong for that. And then, no. Before you do that, announce your real name and where you work at. And I want to verify before you even talk to her. You won't do it. And you know you won't do it. Because you set standards for black men that you don't set for anybody else. How many Asian men do you see get criticized for interracial dating? Hispanic men. Can't be many because there's so many white Hispanics. Can't be many, right? There's so many black Hispanics. Can't be many, right? But you set that standard for black men because when you look at criminal justice, we look at false arrests, false accusations, you look at who is the easiest to crap on in this country. It is the black man, head over heels, period. And Solo, you don't tell your mom that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop capping in here. Stop capping in here. If you tell your mom that, then you are an awful person. I don't want you in my chat. Jesus. Get out of my chat, dude. Seriously. You told your mother that she should have had a baby by a white. Do you see what I'm talking about? Even if you don't criticize a black man, the conditions in which you will criticize a black woman, it is so disgusting to the point where it's like, dude, stop talking. Shut up. Seriously. Do you see where this psychotic stuff is coming from? It's not coming from a genuine place. It is a need for control. It's psychotic. You don't own me. Someone can identify as a freaking giraffe, but you tell me I can't identify as pro-black? Okay. All right, cool. So in California, in California and in Washington State, if my son runs away from home and says, hey, I want to be a woman, right? And if it was found out that I didn't affirm his gender choice, if it's found out that I didn't affirm his gender choice, then what will happen is they don't have to legally tell me where my son is, right? I can call the police station and they will literally tell me we're not at liberty to give you that information. That's in California and Washington State right now. That could happen. Someone can take my child. I could have a son, my son leave, and I get a daughter back. And now you're going to lecture me about who I'm dating? When did it happen where it was more okay to be a gay man than to date who you want, than to date any woman that you wanted? When did the changeover happen? Hey, black men, you notice that? You notice that, black men? Black men, it is more okay for you to be gay than to date a white woman. You will get, and in fact, you want to know how I can prove that? Marcel Dixon is the way I can prove that. A bunch of black people support him. He's gay. But the moment you mention that you're interracially dating, they got an issue with it. When did it happen? When did bussy action be more okay than dating a woman that you want to date? When did that happen? When did that happen? We all know it's true. Think about most every animated series, most all the series you see on TV, right? When you see a black man, you either see one of two things, right? You either see a black man in a bad position as a villain, or he's got to be black, trans, gay, all the things mixed in one. And if he's in an interracial relationship, right? If he's in one, he's got to be the bad guy. He can't be the good guy. Notice how you don't have a black version of like Taken, where it's a black man searching for his white wife, but you got plenty of them that features LGBT black people. See, that's the part. Whereas I'm hoping a lot of you are noticing that. You know, my wife is not even black, and even she asked me, right? Right? Even she asked me, right? She said, why are there so many black transgender people in so many series? Like, because she likes black men, right? Right? And she more identifies with black men than white men because that's who she was raised around. And she's like, when did this happen? Like, she started noticing that every black man had to have something about him that checks off a diversity quota. He couldn't just be a black man by himself, right? And you see that so often. And people don't realize when people speak about the agenda, there's absolutely a freaking agenda. It's just not against white men. Go read the book called The Delectable Negro. Go read it. Go read about how slave masters, how they would target black men. So understand something. When you have people out here who are literally doing the bidding of slave masters by telling you better not date a white woman, but hey, you can be gay. That shows you where it's coming from. That shows you where it's coming from. It's coming from a need for freaking control. Because if you really felt about black people making black children, then why do you have so much freaking abortions then, huh? Why do you have so many freaking abortions then? If you cared so much about making black children, there were plenty of black children you could have made. I made 2 of them. One is black, full FBA. The other one is black and Mexican. But I made 2 black children. Most of you who are critiquing black men for who we're dating have 0. So literally, if the black community was leaning on you, we would get too old and wither. See, it's about control. It's about control. Control who you have children with, control who you date, control how you move, control how much money you make. It's all about control. And it's always been about control. Because if it's not about control, then you got to explain, why do you see so many people saying this crap, but then also ignoring every other point that I just made? Why is that? I'm just curious. You're not going to, if I invite you on here, you're not going to talk past that point. You will address that point. Why is it? And you're not going to pretend like it's not true. You're going to address the point. You're not going to do that. Yeah, I'm setting the freaking stage. So if I invite you on here, you are not going to lie. Because on my platform, I don't allow lies. I don't care if it makes me look bad. I don't care. But you're not going to lie. I don't, my thing is that we have come too far in this society to tolerate lies. I'm sorry, Afrocentric. Let me pronounce your name correctly. I don't want to mispronounce you. Afrocentric Queen. How you doing?
I'm good. You announced my name correct. So, what was your question? I'm listening to you loud, and a lot of things you say I don't disagree with, but I feel like some points you're saying I need you to break it down a little further. Some points I don't agree with.
Right.
So, what was your questions?
Well, the questions I want to ask is, if when it comes to interracial dating, why does it seem? Because I've actually seen Pew Research Center polls that does confirm what I'm saying. Why does it appear like black men get criticized more harshly for it than black women? And if you need examples, I can give you some actual relatively recent ones. Like, for example, Tyree Nichols, when he was unalived by 5 police officers, and it was discovered that he dated white women. I remember even Tariq Nasheed brought that up briefly. People were coming after him, and Tariq Nasheed, he was criticizing. I don't want to slander him. He was criticizing the people who was coming at him because he was dating a white woman. And you have Travis Hunter, who plays for Deion Sanders. He's Deion Sanders' best player. He dates a Hispanic woman, and she's actually Hispanic and black. I think one of her parents speaking black, but she doesn't look black. And when he got hurt, people started making fun of him and started making comments about him dating a non-black woman. And the way that I know that's true is because other sportscasters started making live streams criticizing those people for actually doing that. So you have a lot of examples of horrible things happening to black men in particular, or even like Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, the video evidence that just came out shows that he's in fact innocent. And people gave him a hard time. They gave Tyree Nichols a hard time. They gave Ahmaud Arbery a hard time. They gave Travis Hunter a hard time, all because they dated white women when every last one of those people were materially harmed. When their dating choice objectively has nothing to do with what they were going through. And I just noticed, I've seen a lot of cases recently where black women have gone missing, and I know they've dated outside of their race, but that never comes up. And I'm actually a journalist.
So your question is, why do black men get judged harshly because they date outside their race?
More harshly by the Pew Research Center actual numbers. It is they actually took polls, and it's actually known now that we do get judged more harshly.
Well, I don't know. I don't be around that community that judge people solely by who they date. You date who you want to date. I preferably date who I want to date, just like everybody else do. But I would say
Right.
this. I just think nowadays everybody in general has some past trauma, and not no matter what it is, it reflects who you are today. And I think sometimes it's not necessarily you, but it's something that happened with that black man or that black woman. Therefore, they dislike the whole race, or they have an issue with the whole race. I think sometimes you can't go on the internet and take stuff personal, because if you do, you're gonna be like bothered by everything. But I don't know. I don't know the answer, because I feel you date who you want to date. I don't have an issue with who you date, who you want to date. That's your personal preference. But it doesn't change whether you pro black or not. I don't agree with that.
Right.
I don't think that
I,
changed
I'm
anything.
just the thing that I struggle with, and maybe you can help me out with this, is that you've seen gay men be feminists, right? Or be pro
Yeah.
woman, right?
Well, most gay men are. A lot of gay men are flamboyant. Yes, that's what you mean. Yes.
No, no. I mean, they are actually feminists. Like they believe in like feminism, like they're like pro woman. If you were to ask them,
Yes, some. Yes.
so why is it that we can fully accept that, but then a black guy like me comes along, I got an actual name you can Google. I'm known for the kind of work that I do, but the moment that I don't date a black woman, then suddenly that invalidates everything that I've done.
But it doesn't invalidate everything you've done. It doesn't. Like I said, whoever you date has nothing to do with what you stand, if you pro black or not. That doesn't have anything to do with it.
Well,
It
if you
doesn't.
go on TikTok right now, there's several live streams in which people will disagree with you.
Well, thank God I have my own mind and I can think for myself, but I hear you. But I have my own
Right.
mind and I think for myself, but okay.
Right. I mean, it's not so much a problem if it's just relegated to like opinions. That's not an issue. The issue is when someone like Tyree Nichols loses his life and then someone brings that up. Yeah, we don't need that, and that's why that's not something that we can just ignore
I just
when
think
that
the
kind of stuff
only
happens.
issue I see with a lot of black women that I see on TikTok for sure is when a black man date outside his race, but then he dogs the black woman. That I think I
Right.
see a lot of women, black women get backlash for that, and I
Right.
understand that, because you have a right to date
Right.
who you want to date. If you want to date so so, date so so, but don't bring the black woman down because you want to date outside your race. That part I never understood. But
Right.
that's the only
Well.
thing I would say. I don't get that part. That's the only thing I
Right.
see.
That part of it. Yeah. That because like I recently put out like it was a video I think last week about Terrell Owens. So Terrell Owens, like the football player.
Yeah, I know Terrell Owens.
He put out he mentioned in this article about how he doesn't date black women and how his negative experience with black women informs his decision. And so I put out a video and I called him a freaking raccoon. I said, listen, I don't care if you're gay and you date another gay man. Don't criticize women because you're gay. If you're lesbian, don't criticize men because you date women. If you are, again, why does it seem like when people date somebody else, they got to criticize what they are? It's so weird, and that's where I think some of the confusion happens. But that's not what I'm seeing most of the time. What I'm seeing most of the time is that most of the time people just see you have an interracial relationship and they just fly off the handle at you from the get go. Because the live stream that I just saw, people were like, well, just don't say you're pro black if you're dating this. I'm like, okay, so if you feel that way, don't take any credit for freaking Malcolm X then. Don't take credit for Barack Obama or anybody who's half white. It's very weird how we suddenly want to judge and critique other people's lives, but then the benefits you got out of that actual decision, you want to disclaim too. So anybody who feels like people should date within their freaking race, don't ever claim anything from Malcolm X. They call him freaking Detroit Red for a reason. He was red for a reason, light skin. So it's fascinating, isn't it? It's just I don't understand how people can't piece together where this comes from. It comes from slavery.
It
It
does.
comes from that. Black women weren't allowed to be with whoever they wanted to be with because guess what? The end result is you're just gonna have a freaking black child. It's only with black men did people get control. If a black woman were to go out and have, relations with somebody, slave master didn't do anything to that freaking black woman.
Yeah.
They didn't do it because usually she got pregnant, and do you know what that means? Another slave, the freaking slave, the freaking go and sell. That's all it means. But if a black man goes out there with a white woman, well, then that white woman's having a black baby. And that was specifically illegal. It was not illegal to go after a black woman because it happened all freaking time.
Yeah, because we was molested. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's true. But it's very weird how people can't see there's a clear double standard. You wouldn't criticize a gay couple on Pride Month because you would lose your job. But suddenly you can do it with black men. And you don't realize the reason why that's happening. The reason why you don't criticize the gay couple is because they can't procreate.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's that plus the LGBT community lobby list. Don't play. Do you know they got a huge lobby list. Like they don't play.
That's true.
Pretty
I won't
strong.
deny that.
Like you gotta understand, everything is
that's true.
political too. You gotta understand the political aspect of it. They got a strong stand, and like you can't do much without being canceled. Like the other day, I was on, and I was like something about that community. I think it's like a disorder. And when I say
Right.
mental illness, when I said they violated me for saying that, they violated me. So it ain't much you can say about that community. I think that community itself
Yep.
just have too much power, personally. But
That's weird how you can say all that, but then you can start judging other people's romantic life. You can't. I tell you what. If anyone feels any kind of way about what I said, I'm not even gonna freaking go there. But it is very weird how it seems to be more acceptable to be a gay man, to be a gay black man, and to have relations with a woman of your choice. It's kind of weird how that slowly happened, right?
I don't know if it's more acceptable. I just think I think it's more acceptable to society, but I don't think it's more acceptable in the black community because there's a lot of phobia within the gay community and still black communities today. So I don't know if that's true.
No,
A
no,
lot
no.
of people still got phobia.
I mean, in terms of what you hear from political parties, Democrats, Republicans, they have fully embraced the LGBT.
Oh yeah, most of them, yeah. Yeah.
But and just something that I find weird. What is the overlap? Do you think what overlap do you think is with the community who brought up Travis Hunter dating a non-black woman and the same people who voted for Kamala Harris? What overlap do you think there is?
I don't know. I think politically, they want the LGBT community because again, it's a strong lobby. They get a lot of points. A lot of people follow them, and they will get a lot of votes solely because they support that group. I think politics is very mathematical. They know how to calculate things to get votes. So I think everything has to do with voting. I think a lot of politics don't even believe half of the stuff they say. They just want the votes, honestly, when it comes to politics.
Right.
So I'm totally different. That's a whole nother topic. I think they just say stuff
Right.
to get votes.
Right. I mean, but I'm talking about not so much the politicians, but the people themselves. Because see, here's the thing, right? I look at the topic of interracial dating, right, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Am I to believe that we reached that number by not interracially dating or having children by each other? Of course not. I don't believe that for a second. Because even China is a combination of other ancient countries that are all combined together. It's not just one country. You go back in time, China was many different places. It was invaded so many different times. So even then, there was race mixing. So
Sure.
it is
still
a
happening,
very weird. Go ahead.
I said true. That's still happening today. Go ahead.
It's a very weird thing how people are saying this, and I think one of the things that the black community is forgetting is that the lack of genetic diversity among the white community is the reason why they're having birth rate problems right now. That's one of the reasons why. Our genetic diversity from the African continent is probably the best on the planet. on the planet.
But we can't control that their population is dying off because we don't control that. Their
We don't
population is doing
control
that.
that. True,
Yeah,
but
we don't control that.
that part of it, the lack of genetic diversity, the isolation, some of the monarchies, some of the inability to just actually branch out, and this idea that you can't intermingle a lot, that is definitely what's hurting them now. This is why that's one of the reasons why they're bringing over so many Hispanic people, because
Yeah.
because of the success of the white Hispanic. So it just I'm very confused. How are these people so concerned with me having a child with a non-black woman, but then these same people support abortion?
I don't know.
You had a chance to have a freaking black child, but you aborted him.
Yeah. Again,
It's weird,
abortion
isn't it?
is a different topic because I don't know the reason why some people get abortions. I know some people get abortions because it's Tuesday. I understand that, but some people have real reasons why they need the abortions. You know, the
And that's
baby
not
could
most
be,
cases.
yeah. So I don't know.
That's not most cases. Listen, I am pro-choice, but I'm also honest. Most people, I'm pro-choice only because if you add the government into it, yes, it becomes so chaotic, it becomes so disgusting to the point where eh, that is tyranny. But I'm also honest. Most people are not getting abortions because of medical issues. Come on now, we all know this. Everybody's seen Hot Girl Summer. Everybody's from. It sounds like you might be from like my age group. So you remember the freaking Freak Geeks from the freaking
Yes, I
90s?
remember that. Yeah.
You remember? That's
Yeah.
why people got abortions. Okay, it's not for medical issues. Come on now, come on now. Keep it above.
Some people get abortions because they want to. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you pro-choice, that's ultimately their decision. Do I agree with it? No, but that's their choice. I don't agree with it, but I can't stop them from getting there. You know, and that's
I
why I
understand
said,
that, but my point wasn't so much that they're getting it, because I don't criticize people for getting it. But my issue is that when people come at me for having a child with a non-black woman, well, you had an opportunity to have a child, and we are leading in terms of actual population size. We're leading in terms of freaking abortions. So if people felt so strongly about people having black children, why don't you go at the people who are having freaking abortions?
but you gotta
But they
understand, the
won't
people
do
that's
that
having
because once
abortion
again,
already got a
because
million kids. No, no disrespect. Most people that have abortion already
right,
got a whole bunch of kids.
I
That's all right.
understand that, but my thing is that it goes back into what I'm saying. What is one good reason why you would never make that point? Well, one good reason is because it would require you to hold a woman to a standard. This is only meant to go at black men. It's only meant to go after black men. That's the point that we keep coming back to. And I'm so glad the Pew Research Center cleared it up so that people can't just lie about it. Because everything that I'm saying is backed up by actual studies. People are in fact harder on black men for interracial dating. They are in fact are. Because you can't show me a real example, and I will require a name. What's the example of a black woman losing her life and then someone bringing up interracial dating? Can you
Serena
show me a recent
Williams.
example of that?
Serena Williams. She got married to a white man. A lot of people got stuff to say about Serena Williams. Believe me, it
No.
happens.
I said, can you show me an example of a black woman losing her life and then people bringing up interracial dating as an excuse for it? Because I guarantee you, those people, if they post it under their real names, they don't have jobs anymore. I promise you that. It's 2023, and you and I both know that.
Yeah, they can find you out, AK, real quick these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
But the thing is that you can't really think of one.
No, I can't.
It's a standard that's only meant for us, and it's only meant. It's sad. It's sad because right now we have a loneliness epidemic in this country among white men, black men, Hispanic men, all men. So right now we need men to go out there and actually start asking women out on freaking dates. And now we got a certain segment of people out there telling you, well, you can do that, just don't ask those people. Right now we need young men to get outside and introduce themselves to young ladies, get married, have children, help the economy. What we don't need is the same people who are having abortions constantly telling me how many children to have. And who they have them by? Because at the end of the day, if we're telling men to be men, at some point a man's got to make his own choice, and other people just have to freaking respect it. But that doesn't happen to us. Doesn't happen.
I
And
agree with
I
that.
brought up
Like
three
I said,
examples. I brought up one from Hollywood. I brought up one from college football, and I brought up Tyree Nichols. Those are three recent examples of how horrible things can happen to black men, and because they made the wrong dating choice, right? Because you made the wrong dating choice, you somehow deserve it. Blame the victim.
but Tyree Nichols definitely had nothing to do with a white woman, did it? It's just because they wanted to beat him up.
Tyree Nichols dated white women, and so when he lost his life, there were a bunch of black people showing up. And I'm so glad, I'm so proud of Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed, great job, brother. He called it out. I called it out. As soon as many people in the black media saw it, even Phil Scott with the with Africa Diaspora Media, he pointed out how in Florida there was a Haitian man on a reparations task force. And he started talking about how we don't need reparations. And this Haitian man got on video, and I'm so glad that video's out there. He said, "Oh, I've heard the accusations that I don't like my own people. I've heard the accusations. I've heard the accusations that I must date a white woman." And he actually brought out his freaking black wife. So that shows you it don't matter who you date. This man went against reparations as a Haitian, with no lineage to these lands. He's black too. He's got a black wife. How did that turn out?
Well, he shouldn't be talking about reparations. It had nothing to do with him. I hate people that do that. Don't got nothing to do with
But
what talk about.
he did it. He did it, and it is interesting how that never comes up except for people from people like Africa Diaspora News, people who actually hold people to an actual account and don't just blindly judge people. See, it's fascinating. But hey, sis, I want to give you a follow. Hey, guys, make sure you give Afrocentric Queen a follow. Much love, sister. I'm sorry. I know you met me at an angry place. Sorry about that, sister. Sorry
I just
about
want
that.
to know your
wanna-
frustration, because I like you. I go on people live, and a lot of the lives I pass by, because it's always toxic. I don't really like toxicity, but when I come from live and I see people, I just want to figure out why. Because I'm like,
Right.
we don't need a lot of. I see enough toxicity on TikTok. I don't really want to be bothered. But yeah.
Well, I love you. I have nothing against you. Make sure you give her a follow, guys. I'm gonna follow you right now. Hopefully you just got my follow. And is there anything else you want to add? Because I want to go in and
No,
roll out.
I
I can hear my son crying actually.
Okay, I just wish that we bridge the gap, and like,
Right.
it's just annoying. Like, everyone got so much hate. I'm over the hate. I just want us to, the black community, to come together and get all the madness out the way. That's what I really just want us to do.
I feel you.
Honestly.
I feel you. Anyway, sis, be safe, okay?
All right.
Peace. All right, guys. Until next time, be safe out there, and please let people date who they want to date. Horns up, peace out, good night, and good luck.